you don't know where to begin, better ask Win.
Winston, good to see you. Today we are discussing the 6 critical risks that could derail your retirement. When it comes to retirement planning, it's not just about saving enough, it's about preparing for the risks that could undo all of your hard work. So today we're going to break down the top 6 risks. First, we have sequence risk. I've heard this before. What is it?
Sequence of returns risk is what happens during your time when you retire. They talk about the S&P 500 having a 100-year track record of doing, 10% return. But that's the S&P 500. That's not you, flesh and blood. If you could pull up the chart, Erin, it shows the sequence return. We have an example with the blue and the green, where we have 2 distinct outcomes that were different based on that person's timeline, where one person wound up with a lot more money than the other person just by the reversal of the rates of return. Right. And what we can do is help people understand how this matters during their lifetime and take that risk off the table.
Yeah, that is a really important one. All right, risk number 2, withdrawal rate risk. We've talked before about the 4% rule. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, the 4% rule, which a lot of people today are calling more like the 3.5% risk rule, is just this. If you have a portfolio, you should, in theory, nothing's guaranteed, be able to pull, say, 3.5 to 4% from that portfolio every year without incurring the risk of running out of money, right, by the market going down. Now, with volatility, this becomes a real concern. And what we like people to understand is that withdrawal rate risk, it's a bit of a tongue twister, on a $1 million portfolio, think about it, 3.5, 4%, that's $35,000 to $40,000 a year of income. That's not very motivating.
Mm-hmm. And then next, of course, we have what could be one of your biggest expenses in retirement, healthcare and long-term care specifically. Friendly reminder to everyone that 7 out of every 10 people will need long-term care at some point.
Right.
And the costs here projected out to 2043, ranging anywhere from $124,000 to $211,000 annually.
It's devastating. And what we're finding when let's say we meet with 10 brand new prospective clients, virtually none of them have this taken care of, right? In fact, their IRA, their 401k is their long-term care plan. Now, from other videos that we've done talking about tax planning, what a terrible tool to use for your long-term care. We suggest that while long-term care is not one of the 2 guarantees in life, it's certainly something that needs to be planned for.
Mm-hmm. And next we have one of your favorite topics to talk about, taxation. If you don't start planning now, this can be a huge risk in retirement.
Oh, that's what I was just talking about. The fact that the tax system is set up where we have taxes on capital gains, we have taxes on Social Security, we have taxes on Medicare. The later you live in life, right, you're going to find that the government starts dictating your taxation through these things called RMDs when you're either 73 or 75, depending on when you were born. RMDs are a forced withdrawal from your retirement accounts that add taxes that cause your taxes on your long-term capital gains to go up, that cause taxes on your Social Security to go up, and cause taxes on your Medicare to go up. It's incredible, and it needs to be planned for it, not to mention just the wealth transfer aspect alone of leaving an IRA to a non-spousal beneficiary.
Yeah, really good point. Next, we have the silent thief in the night, inflation.
Inflation, it's taken a bite out of everybody's apple. I mean, I feel that Americans have lost sight of the fact that the cost of living has just skyrocketed across the last 4 years. And I pray that that's coming to an end. The thing is that you've got to be able to maintain your buying power by having increasing income in retirement. And the only way you can really get increasing income is to take a lot of these risks off of the table.
Mm-hmm. And then last, we have the risk multiplier, longevity. You want this to be nothing but good news, but it really does complicate things.
It does. Really, I always tell people during seminars and classes that there is only one number one risk in retirement. Only one number one risk in retirement, and that's longevity, because like you said, it's a multiplier of all the other risks. You see, Erin, the longer you live, the more likely stock market's going to crash. The longer you live, inflation will take a bite out of your apple. The longer you live, you probably are going to need some form of long-term care. And the longer you live, the closer you are to dying. And when we know that the only two guarantees in life are death and taxes, we need to plan for that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I think it's empowering, though, to have this discussion, to recognize that with proactive planning, we can account for these risks now. They are known, so we can take action. So, Winston, if somebody would like to talk through strategies to mitigate these risks, what's the best way to reach you?
Man, I hope you give us a call at area code 602-456-1928. That's 602-456-1928. Or alternatively, you can go to our website, winstonandcompanies.com. And on there, you can actually click on our calendar and schedule yourself a visit. We'd love to hear from you.
Great. Winston, thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Have a great day.
Got a plan for your retirement, 'cause you know it's just down the road. But if you don't know where to begin, better ask when.